Emil's design is one of the best designs in gaming history, and I will not be denied! Goofy magic skelly boy with a wacky mask!
And his backstory is tragic as hell.
But peak design!
What's up, Peak Burb here. I recently played through Nier Replicant, an absolute gem of a game, and had a splendid time. But there was one thing that didn't click for me.
The setting!
I am not a sci-fi geek. I'm a fantasy geek. I want swords and magic. Swing! So after finishing Nier Replicant and thinking, damn, that was lit, I did like I always do and gave in to my autism by traveling back in time.
To Nier Replicant!
Which, you know, is the remaster/remake of the original Nier, of which there were 2 off, but he only released Nier Gestalt outside of Japan, where the main dude is an old man instead, and this is a remake of the Japan-only version, which in turn is a spin-off of the Drakengard series, which is actually called Dragon Dragoon. Yoko Taro, what the fuck is going on, dude?
But to my pleasant surprise, Nier Replicant is high fantasy, and it scratches my itch for magic nonsense.
And I absolutely adore this game, because it's so of its kind.
If you took me to court, hand on the Bible, and asked me which game was better between Nier Replicant and Nier Automata,
I'd say Nier Automata, hands down. How is this even a question? Nier Automata truly polished everything Nier Replicant had going for it, and delivered an amazingly written story with such an intriguing and mysterious world, wonderful interactions with cute robots, a fluid and satisfying combat system, and all the gooner bait a man can dream of. Nier Automata is truly fantastic, and as a game, it outshines Nier Relish in pretty much every aspect.
But as an experience,
Nier Automata is still actually better now that I think about it.
But if we're talking uniqueness,
no, yeah, I'd say that still goes to Nier Automata.
But Nier Replicant is like a fever dream you don't want to wake up from.
It's so strange, and it just delivers such a weird vibe. It almost feels homemade in a sense. Every execution of a concept or idea misses the mark ever so slightly from what you'd expect, but that twist makes it all the more interesting to partake in. It feels dated for all the wrong reasons, and that is the charm of it. Just listen to the fucking voice acting. Everyone who isn't important is just dialing it in like it's fucking Morrowind.
My sister's gonna rake me over the coals if I don't get my shopping done soon.
You must be the kid Popola sent.
Kaine must not be brought to the village.
I mean, even some important characters.
Preposterous.
Your denial is preposterous. We are mere books created to serve the Shadow Lord.
This is amazing. Oh fuck, I love it. Yoko Taro recently stated on Twitter that there's less weird people making video games today. And motherfucker is so right. Video games have become a business, and a lucrative one at that, and corporate decisions have now overtaken the creative decisions by vast majority. Look at the state of Nintendo! Tears of the Kingdom was a cash grab, new Mario Kart was ass, the Switch 2 is $90 per game and you don't even get a real game! Everything is just calculated to provide profits, and the things that are greenlit must be deemed profitable. Just fucking try to tell me Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg would be greenlit today, I fucking dare you! But going back to whatever the fuck Yoko Taro is up to, shit's weird, homies and homeheads. Drakengard was never my scene, but this dude was responsible for Bayonetta. That's a crazy-ass game! Yoko Taro truly does not care if it works or not, as long as the concept is cool enough. And I respect that. Nier Replicant is pretty wacky. Story beats flow at the weirdest possible pace, sometimes being slow as fuck, sometimes moving faster than a speeding train, and sometimes literally being white on black text. What the fuck is this? Energy was absolutely directed towards all the shots deemed important, and the rest was left to be filled in later. This makes all the cool cinematic moments really cool, and everything else a bit clunky. I mean, look at the cool boss finishers! This is so fucking over the top, and I absolutely adore this. And then in between that, you get things like the fucking Forest of Myth! I've never seen such a sight.
I'm glad you get to see it, Wise, because I'm staring at a fucking black screen!
It's a constantly changing dynamic, but it never quite dips below the acceptable threshold of quality. It just levels decent to amazing like a fucking roller coaster. But what Nier Replicant does best, that I love so much, is the variety of spice in each section. Nier Automata would mix up gameplay a lot to keep things fresh, but Nier Replicant switches up the concepts. Okay, we got a classic dungeon, slash enemies, sometimes switch to top-down mode and slash, this all works fine. Oh, we got a cool town all attached to cliffs, you run around and chase down the boss, go through Metroidvania sections, yeah, I can work with this. Oh, we got a fucking Resident Evil style horror game where the running button is disabled and you gotta go finding keys and shit? This whole town demands you take a boat tour of the city in real time before you can interact with the merchants and the king? This whole dungeon is just challenge puzzles with limitations placed on your movement? We're traveling through a pirate ship with tiny puzzles and lore searching? Fucking reading homework? Force of Myth can suck my entire cock and balls, I swear to Christ.
It's also experimental, and it's also fun.
And the world has such fantastic sights to show you. The environments and places you get to visit all just shine with so much passion and love, and the vibe just never ends.
The area is so cool!
The desert town is so cute, and your own town is so calm and soothing. You got Popola chilling in the library, Devla playing on her lute by the fountain, plants that take forever to grow, and I love all the interactions you get from random characters, like this side quest where you get Popola drunk so she'll sing with Devla in the tavern. Don't stop believing, hold on to that feeling. There's a lot of cool story ideas and twists, but what truly sells this game is one thing. It's so melodramatic! Every scene is so over-the-top serious and covered with drama and nonsense that it overflows, and you almost can't take it seriously anymore. There's so much emotion and forced depth, and each cutscene just shoves in as much as it can. We got a scene where Emil literally loses control of his magic and decimates an entire village, and Nier goes,
Don't look back.
I mean, maybe look back a little, you did kill all those innocent people, move forward but learn from your mistakes. Or Kaina, after taking revenge on the beast that killed her grandma, goes, guess I'll die. And Nier goes, don't. And she goes, yeah, okay, I guess. Or when Emil yells multiple times during a boss fight, guys, get out of here, I'll sacrifice myself so you can escape. And the dudes go, nah, it's fine. But then he keeps yelling it, and they kinda like argue about it, and then they just kill the boss. Or when this random ass angel dude shows up and steals Nier's sister, and Nier is dying on the floor and the cool book is getting hypnotized by the gay book, but Kaina and Emil shouts at the book to not be brainwashed by the gay book, and then the cool book says, Lama, I didn't get hypnotized, and also the gay book sounds so fucking dumb.
Your denial is preposterous. We are mere books created to serve the Shadow Lord. You have no right to forsake him.
Did I actually think this sounded cool? I'm losing it. This feels like fucking Kingdom Hearts 2 if it was good. And that's because it threads the line of edge and drama so perfectly. Kingdom Hearts 2 goes full edgelord and is just an unmotivated mess. I have a full script on Kingdom Hearts 2, don't you worry! But Nier's drama is always built upon the character's core motivations and then exaggerated past the limit of normalcy. It's closer to Devil May Cry, where the overarching plot is told in the most ridiculous of ways, while still staying true to the characters and their goals. Nier hates shades, loves his sister, is a good boy who helps everyone, wants to cure his sister's evil curse, and that cure might be to kill the evil book and the Shadow Lord. Yep, that is his actual name. Kaina is possessed by a shade and is also driven by revenge, gets her revenge and plans to die, but is convinced to use her prowess to help the ones who helped her and also kill more shades. Emil is blind and cursed, but is helped by Nier and Kaini, and now feels he owes them a debt of honor and friendship, and so is willing to go any length to help them. Including fusing with his sister to make a cool fucking skeleton! There's never a moment where you doubt the characters in their actions, because their motivations have been laid bare since the beginning. You're free to push your story however insane you want, as long as the justifications behind their actions remain believable and acceptable. It makes complete sense for Kaine to sacrifice herself to become a Han Solo statue to stop this shade from getting out, because she was ready to die after killing the first shade, literally tells Emil to kill her if her shade runs amok. Girl absolutely ready to throw her life away in a heartbeat. And she keeps getting killed. Jesus Christ, girl, calm your tits. There's zero doubt in my mind that Yoko Taro sat down and played Twilight Princess one day and said, I wanna make this. Because it fucking is! The monster designs, the abilities, the vibe, the flow of the story. Fucking look at the shades! This guy! Big hand! Circle into flurry of attacks! Finishers? Following a shitty slow NPC for some random obstacle with random monsters that scares the NPC into stopping? Quest to deliver fragile item without it breaking? This fucking boss is just the Tower of God's boss, shoot the hands, throw bombs in mouth, even the fucking book says it. Even the two spirits serving the evil master, but one of them joins the good team because reasons, like in Majora's Mask. He even does the ta-ta-ta-ta! And that's fucking Final Fantasy VII! And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. While a lot of things are clearly heavily inspired by Zelda, and especially Twilight Princess, calling it a ripoff would be disingenuous, because everything comes down to inspiration and growth. The environments and graphical style are reminiscent of Shadow of the Colossus, and the core gameplay mimics the combat of Devil May Cry and the questing style of MMORPGs like Final Fantasy XI and MapleStory. It's a culmination of all the things the devs loved, rather than a soulless theft of intellectual property meant to generate income. And above all, it's clearly done on purpose, to pay tribute to these games. They're not trying to disguise it or hide it, but even openly admit it in-game. Art has evolved through imitation and theft, and it's always been this way since the dawn of time. You steal an idea or a concept, and you build upon it until it has an identity of its own. And this is nothing to be ashamed of, it's how the creative process works. And Yoko Taro honed in on this early and unashamedly embraced it. He wears those inspirations proudly on his sleeve while looking to the future. And the future he envisioned is girls with very skimpy clothing. My brother in Christ, you need to chill. Are these shorts really necessary? Okay, before we begin, let's get something straight. Dated doesn't mean bad. It means old. no longer compliant with modern standards. What matters is if it aged well or not. Take Ocarina of Time, a game that is non-arguably dated. It's clunky, low frame rate, low poly, textures are a mess, but going back to it, it's still a fantastic experience. The gameplay definitely holds up still, the story and world building is great, the music is fantastic, it's held in high regard for good reason. But if you gave this to someone who grew up with Breath of the Wild, it would feel absolutely awful to them. It's dated, because technology has moved forward. And so too is Nier Replicant. The story will rush you whenever it wants, or completely relax itself at random, giving you whiplash from the tempo. The voice acting absolutely shines in peak moments, but then brings you down to the junk heap.
We are mere books created to serve the Shadow Lord.
The side quests can be fantastically rewarding, or complete nonsense. And it's specifically the two extremes that truly make Nier so dated. Even older games would have a dynamic pace, where things could slow down and speed up, letting you breathe in between climaxes. In fact, most games do. Some games may prefer to stay at constant high action and therefore hold steady on the high dynamic, while other games will remain slow throughout, but they will always try to maintain a certain balance. And then we have Nier Replica. It just does whatever the fuck it wants. You never know what you're gonna get. It's ridiculous. But I absolutely love games that do this. The devs weren't afraid to try new things, throwing eggs at the wall to see what sticks, and surprise surprise, most eggs crack. But those that don't become a cool skeleton that shoots magic! As mentioned, I'm playing the remaster/remake of Nier Replicant, because that's what I got access to. I bought it on Steam, get off my fucking back. But there's a trend that I fucking hate that also slammed itself into Nier. Animification! Fucking look how they butchered my boy Shulk! What the fuck happened to you, Ryan? Yes, the original has some wonk factor because of its age, but the soul is there. The new one looks like Pussy Boy McFlick the Bean, fuck off with this! And Nier Replicado got the same treatment. Look at Nier in the OG! He looks so badass! He looks like he's been through some real bad shit, and is now driven by purpose. The new one just looks like sad anime boy Edge. And yes, I'm comparing with the Japanese OG that didn't release outside Japan. My girl kinda looks rough, but she's got so much personality. Even Emil looks extra creepy in this one, and I vibe with that. That is to say, the Remakester still looks really good. And for the most part, they stay true to the vibe and the looks of the OG. Not only that, but I'm sure this is closer to the original vision the artists and developers had when making the game. But there is charm and personality hidden within the original models and graphics. There were limitations and compromises made that led to the creation of the original look, and the creative choices made because of their limitations is what gave it the style. By changing them or fixing them, you're inadvertently changing the style and feel of the game. They did the same thing with Final Fantasy X, although for a more inept reason. How do you lose the assets to your own game? Are you fucking kidding me, Squaresoft? I'll be completely honest, I was hella excited when I heard Xenoblade Chronicles was coming to the Switch, but the moment I saw the faces, I lost all will to buy it.
Fuck off, Nintendo!
And the old Nier is good! The old faces look so angry! The new ones look like they're mad, but I got a heart of gold. But the OG kinda literally looks like the bitch she acts like. Bring back the angry eyebrows! Nier Replicant is just such an interesting piece of media to take part in. Even through the remake, it feels so dated, so aged, like looking in a time capsule. And that's a nice feeling to take part of. There are so many strange choices made that disrupt the sense of what a video game is, because the mold was still being shaped at the time of its conception. You can play Nier Automata, and despite its uniqueness and derivations of the modern norm, it's refined to the point of what we expect in games today. But Nier Replicado is messy and disheveled. It forgot to trim the tips and even out the layers, and that's what makes it charming. At times, you'll be blown away by its ingenuity. At times, you'll cry in embarrassment.
They just fucking ran out of budget, didn't they? What the fuck is this?
And more often than not, you'll ask if it's really necessary to put Kaine in those fucking shorts, fuck's sake. But all in all, you'll find yourself taking part of an experience like no other. Bye.